Hello, everyone, and welcome back. I have a very, very good friend with me today, very close friend. We actually are part of the Grand Circle Tour podcast together. I have my very good friend Jason. Hey, Jay, how you doing?
Hey, George, I'm great. How are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic.
Thanks for
So,
having me on. I'm stoked
yeah,
to be here.
yeah, definitely. This is your first time on my channel, so
Yeah,
hopefully this will be the first of many.
I'm down for that. We do a lot of shows together, so
We do, we do. So, this is going to be interesting. So I invited Jay on today to have an in-depth conversation about something that kind of surprised us all. That Disney had announced that for Disney Plus, they will be releasing the live-action Mulan film, but there's a little twist to it that for $29.99 you could end up watching it on Disney Plus. It's not coming with the subscription, and this had come out the day that Disney's third quarter earnings came out, which it started of a loss of 2 billion, then it went to 3.5 billion, and Jay just informed me not too long ago that it jumped to 4.7 billion. So the numbers just keep rising, for which, I mean, the stockholders are probably pulling their hair out right now. But so Jay, what do you take of this as far as, do you think this is a good move on Disney's part as far as like what Disney Plus goes for this particular film? Is this the start of something new? Do you think it'll go further into the theme parks? What are your thoughts on it?
I have a lot of thoughts on this. I kind of saw this coming, and I'm waiting for announcements for New Mutants and Black Widow as well. But I kind of saw this when Disney Plus started, where it's going to be like an iTunes type service, where you'll have all these things in the back catalog already, but newer things like Mulan going forward, you're going to have to buy like an iTunes to be able to watch on Disney Plus.
So do you think Disney would completely eliminate the theater?
No, the theater's never going to go away. It's an experience. People go to dinner and a show all the time. We always have. Um, but I think we're going to see less and less films go to theaters. We're going to see this approach going forward.
So sort of like how even Netflix had done it with their movies, like with Bird Box and other
Right.
things like that.
Right. Once you buy it, it's yours. You can download it, put it on a different platform, a different device.
Now, I do know that they did the same for Trolls World Tour, but you and I
Right.
had a very brief conversation about it that you said that there were actually some issues when, what was it, Sony?
It was Universal and AMC, if I remember right. And basically, what happened was, and Trolls was only $20, same as Scoop. So when they put it out there during the pandemic, it did gangbusters. And I can't remember who it was from Universal that said, "This is awesome. We should do this all the time and skip the theaters." And AMC said, "You know what? We're no longer going to show your films. Go ahead."
Oh, that's
And
interesting.
it's since worked out. But yeah, that was kind of uglier a few months ago.
So do you feel like Mulan kind of sets now the new standard that as far as like with Black Widow, the Jungle Cruise, Soul, that they'll all move the same direction?
I don't think they'll all move same direction. What I do see is them going, you can have it the same day as it's in theaters to watch anytime you want.
Okay, so you think it would be released on different dates?
Right, because someone like me will go out, watch the film in the theater, come home, and then buy it on Disney Plus for 20, $30. I do disagree with the $30 price point, though.
Okay, yeah, that was my next question. As far as like when a typical family goes to the theater, I mean, you're basically getting that amount, but that's also including if you buy snacks or anything. This is
Right.
just a one total amount just for one movie. Now, is it where you would pay the 30 and then you can watch it whenever you want, or is that just a one-time showing?
Right. It'll be unlocked once you pay for it. I think it'll be unlocked on your account forever,
Okay.
but it'll be locked on anyone who doesn't buy it for, I don't know, however length of time they want to do it, or keep it that way.
So it's basically $30 just to get an early preview of it, and then you
Just
have
to watch it at home, yeah.
yeah.
And I disagree with the price point because for $25, I buy the Blu-ray. I've got a physical copy on Blu-ray and DVD and a digital code to put in my iTunes. So,
And that's what like a lot of people are having a conversation on social media is a lot of people are saying, yeah, I'm going to pay the 30 because I really want to see this. And then
right.
other people are saying, well, I'll just wait 6 months until the Blu-ray comes out, or it'll just be free on Disney Plus by then.
I don't think it'll be free on Disney Plus for a while. I think if it'll be a situation where rather than giving you an iTunes code, if you buy a physical copy, they'll give you a Disney Plus code
Oh, that's interesting.
that you can only use one time.
Okay. So now with like, for instance, like the Jungle Cruise film that they pushed it a whole year.
Right.
It was supposed to be July 24th, if I'm not mistaken, but they pushed
Which,
it.
can I just say, we're getting a wave of Jungle Cruise merchandise right now, which I am in favor of. And I'm hoping in a year from now, when the film does come out, we get a whole second new wave of Jungle Cruise merchandise.
Yeah, you would love that. And everyone, for those who don't know, if you haven't listened to our podcast, please definitely go check us out, the Grand Circle Tour podcast. Jason is known as our Jungle Skipper Jay. He absolutely loves the Jungle Cruise and well, even more so the Tower of Terror. And if you listen to our podcast, you'll understand why. So
Why aren't you listening to our podcast if you aren't? Pause this, go into your podcast feeder, Grand Circle Tour, hit subscribe, tickle that little bell icon so you know when we come out.
and there you go. We got our plug-in.
Ooh, I plugged our own show.
Yeah. So now, do you feel like with Mulan coming out sooner, having an additional 30 that people have to pay, do you think, being that it was released on the day of Disney's third quarter earnings, and just by the amount, I mean, Disney probably had an idea what they were going to be losing.
That was a well-timed thing to kind of ease the pain of that phone call.
Yeah.
That was dessert after a really bad meal.
So yeah, definitely. Indigestion.
Yeah.
So I mean, do you think it's more so that they're just trying to cut corners as much as they can just to get any kind of revenue?
I don't think the cost-cutting corner has even started yet. I'm talking parks. We're going to see a wave of layoffs like we've never seen before. Think of 2002.
Okay, like that bad.
That bad. We're not going to see any more construction projects going forward. This wonderful golden age of something new at Universal or Disney every year for the last, 10, 15 years?
Yeah.
That's done. We're going to see Ratatouille, Tron, Guardians, all those open up, and that's going to be it for at least 5 years, because that's what it's going to take the theme park industry to recover. It's going to be 5 years to go back to normal.
Yeah, and I'm actually glad you touched upon that subject, because a lot of people were talking about that, with Ratatouille, Guardians, and Tron, they are still on the path of getting construction completed and open.
Right.
A little delay, but they're still going to open. Do you feel that Disney will hesitate the opening dates, even though they may be completed? Do you think that Disney will hesitate on opening them to avoid larger crowds, or do you think that they'll just be so desperate to try to get more revenue that they'll kind of maneuver a way to get the crowds in without it being shoulder to shoulder?
In between whatever construction delays they have right now, I think they're going to try to milk those for the 50th and salvage whatever they can for the 50th celebration, which a lot has been canceled. I don't think you're going to see that anything Epcot moving forward for at least 6 years.
Yeah. I think honestly, as far as Epcot goes, that'll be for Epcot's own 50th.
Right.
Me and my personal.
They're going to open up on whatever timetable they have, but I think they're really going to try to milk those three for the 50th.
Yeah, I agree with you, because they said even all the other plans that weren't even announced yet, they're completely scrapped. Like they don't even have them on the back burner. They're like completely gone.
And I mean, we know they had plans drawn up for, I mean, for Disneyland alone, we know they had plans to redo Hollywoodland, a new Tomorrowland, a new Fantasyland in the back, and we're not going to see those happen anytime soon.
Yeah, that'll probably be maybe a 10 year
Right.
as far as
I
those.
mean, and to hit the other side of the street with Universal, with Epic Universe being on hold indefinitely, um, they're in a contract to get that Mario land up and running by a certain time. So I bet you anything, it's going to go into Islands of Adventure, where Cartoon Corner is.
Okay.
I bet you in the next 2 to 3 years, we're going to be uh, getting ready to open that
Yeah.
because
And
they
then
have to have it open by a certain date.
right, and then that's going to even pressure Disney even more that something like that. But I do agree with you. I think those three main attractions that they know guarantee that will be completed and
Right.
opened, they have to have something for Walt Disney World's 50th. So that's, as you said, they'll probably open all three
I
during.
mean, and there's going to be a lot more cuts because before all this happened, as much as I love Galaxy's Edge, as much as you love Galaxy's Edge, it hasn't been the hit they thought it would be. At Disneyland, it has seen a zero point 0.0 increase in attendance. At Hollywood Studios, it's seen a 0.2% increase in attendance. And that was $1 billion spent for those two lands.
Yeah, and what's because I've actually noticed from a lot of videos that I've watched on YouTube that guests would now go through this reservation system to go to Hollywood Studios,
Mm-hmm.
get there real early, try to get the boarding pass for Rise of the Resistance, and if they didn't get the boarding pass, you would just see people exiting the park.
Right.
So I mean, they're already low attendance, and then for the people that didn't get the boarding pass and they leave, it's like a complete ghost town.
Oh, someone was telling me the other day Epcot is only getting 2,500 people a day. So you'll see at max, they've only got a few hundred people at a time per area.
I mean, there's just times where, and I actually
Because right
saw,
now, it's only Florida residents going.
yeah. And now, kind of moving into that question, a lot of people are saying that, Disney is now more so relying on the Florida residents, but yet at the same time, they're more so leaning towards day ticket holders rather than annual pass holders.
Right. Well, annual pass holders are strapped too. I mean, look how bad it is in Florida right now.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, I understand where Disney's trying to go with this, but at the
Right.
same time, I just think right now they're just so desperate into trying to figure out a way to get as much money as they possibly can.
And I wonder how much money is it costing them to open all the parks and resorts every day with such low attendance? I mean, are people spending the amount of money you need to make up for that loss?
Yeah, because
I mean,
it's
outside
almost
of
like,
Splash Mountain merchandise?
yeah. I mean, you would think that would occur, but it's to the same notion of that it seems like a lot of people um happen to get the into the parks more than staying at a resort hotel.
Right.
Because when you stay at a resort hotel, you can get as many days as you want. You're guaranteed those dates. So for Florida residents, that if they're just you can't just go and come as you please, like they're used to.
Mm-hmm.
You can just go grab a Dole Whip, sit on a park bench for like an hour or two, and then leave.
Just get off work and walk around Food and Wine, and there's dinner.
Exactly. So it's like now, I think for like the next 12 days, I think a lot of people were saying that even Hollywood Studios, it's completely filled for annual pass holders.
Right.
So unless that they actually have a reservation at a resort. So I wonder if that is sort of kind of Disney's way of trying to even get the resorts up and running.
I thought they were
And
just kind of opening the floodgates to get some more people in there.
yeah, because I mean, if they didn't do that, I'm for sure the resorts wouldn't even be getting any revenue coming in.
Do you think they're going to close the parks and resorts again?
As of right now, it's hard to say. I don't think. because I really think that just for a matter of 4 months, and as now you just told me that they lost 4.7 billion,
Right.
that I think if they were to close anymore, I really think that they would be in a bigger downward spiral than what they already are. Because on top of them releasing, the $30 purchase from Mulan on Disney Plus, that they also said that the CDC gave the green light clearance for 2 out of the 4 Disney cruise ships,
Right.
the Wonder and the Dream. So it's
But
like,
both ships, you still have to fly into Florida, quarantine for 2 weeks before you can even go on your vacation.
now, did they say to actually to fly down? Now, I do know, like, if you're going, depending on your, because I know it's New York, Connecticut, Rhode Island, and New Jersey. Those 4, I do know that if you're going into the state of Florida, that you have to quarantine for 2 weeks. But then again, I don't know what they're going to have their protocols for cruising, so that may be a whole nother
Right, because
thing.
then you're getting onto international waters because the boats aren't in there. I really don't know how it works right now
Yeah. And
with
then
the
even
cruises.
Imagineer Joe Rohde even announced like getting people hyped up for
Yeah.
the new island in the Bahamas.
Kind of like the Splash Mountain announcement. I bet we're going to see a bunch of small announcements between now and the rest of the year.
Yeah, yeah, it's going to be like, uh, before the shutdown, we were getting news of many different things every single
Right.
day. It was like this and that, resort, hotel, ride, theme park. It was like movies. It was like everything every day, and
It was
it's
like a fire hose of Disney news nonstop.
yeah. And now
Which
it's just like
which is
we're begging.
podcasters. This sucks. We have nothing new to talk about. Still listen to the show though.
Yes, definitely. But yeah, it's like we're begging for news,
Yeah.
and I think honestly, as you said, I really don't think we're going to really hear too much until it comes time for Walt Disney World's 50th.
Right. And we know that's been scaled way, way back to almost nothing, which is such a bummer.
Yeah, it really is. For a huge milestone for Walt Disney World, that Disneyland had their 50th and their diamond,
Hmm.
that for something like Walt Disney World, and it's like just completely diminished to like low scale. That, I mean, Ratatouille and Guardians are both opening up at Epcot. Tron's opening up at Magic Kingdom, and there's really nothing more for
And we
Hollywood.
still have the Star Wars Hotel and like, but Hollywood Studios just wrapped up several years of construction and new rides. Epcot's going to be put on hold. Nothing new for Animal Kingdom. And once Tron is done at Magic Kingdom, I think we're going to see a stillness in creativity for a while.
Yeah. And I think
Because
probably even,
you're gonna have to build this crowd back to normal,
oh yeah, it's
and
basic.
that's
It's basically like teaching a baby how to walk, and it's
right.
like it's basically taking the resort back to 1971.
No, it's yeah. I mean, money's gonna be hard for a lot of people for the next few years,
Yeah.
but I do bet you we're gonna see empty parks and some amazing deals coming up.
Oh yeah, definitely. I can guarantee that without a
I trip my I kicked my trip down to March, and in case that doesn't happen, I just decided, well, I'll bet you anything the parks are gonna be really slow next year, and if they do like free dining, free this, I'm in. I don't care if it's July 4th.
yeah. Yep.
Because
But
there won't be crowds.
yeah. And then I also feel like that if they were to add anything in new, probably as Disney is very good at like reskinning and retheming things. So I think like to get things up and running, they'll probably have a lot of replacements rather than like expansions until they get up on their feet again.
Right. Well, even that's going to cost more money than they want to spend. There's that awesome e-ticket Quintet attraction coming to Avengers Campus over in California Adventure. I would bet you that's not going to happen for a while once campus is open.
Oh yeah.
They're going to be able to just put that one on the back burner.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's basically pretty much like Spider-Man, um, the Ant-Man, um, what is it, Gastropub, and then the Doctor
Yeah.
Strange Mystic Arts show.
Eh,
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 it's
eh.
like I guess right now Disney will take anything they can get right now.
Right, I'm bummed because I was really looking forward to the three massive expansions at Disneyland, the redo of Hollywood Land. I don't know if that was going to be more Avengers or a redo of
Mhm.
Hollywood Land, but all of Tomorrowland was going to get knocked down, bulldozed, and redone, including that area in the back where the monorail just twists around for no reason by Small World,
Yeah.
and over to the theater, an all new Fantasyland.
Well, I guess now we could just kind of take it as, it's a bummer right now, but maybe like in the future that they could even come up with something even bigger and better than they originally planned.
Right. But this period is going to be like, I would guess, 71 through 75
Yeah.
when Magic Kingdom opened and then Space Mountain opened and nothing really in between.
Yeah. That's pretty much the era we're in again. History repeats itself.
We'll just have to bring back the bell bottoms too.
I guess so. Might as well. Might draw some crowds. But I do want to thank you for joining me today.
Thanks
As I
for
said,
having me.
I definitely want you back to come back on, and
Anytime.
we'll talk more Disney. And if you want to remind the listeners again where they can listen to us some more chit chat on the
Uh,
Grand Circle Tour.
Grand Circle Tour podcast. I almost tripped over that like my own shoelaces were tied. Grand Circle podcast. Wow. Grand Circle Tour podcast on any of your pod feeders. Um, like, subscribe, leave us a 5-star review. We really appreciate that. Even if you haven't listened, leave us a 5-star review. And you can follow us on Facebook at the Grand Circle Tour Magic Ticket Holders page. I didn't trip on that one.
No, you got that one good. Well, thank you everyone for listening. Definitely leave comments down below of what you think, if how the company is running into this direction. How do you see it in the future? Please like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and definitely look out for more videos. So stay healthy, stay safe, stay Disney. Bye, everyone.